capacitor field, and that didn't sound much like a shaker or a scraper, did it? Well, this is my Quilcom B2 Shake and Scrape, which is a synthesizer designed to, wait for it, make sounds of shakers and scraper type instruments. So because this is a synthesizer rather than a sampler system, you can create all sorts of alternative sounds which the synthesizer wasn't actually sort of designed for. The Quilcom B2 Shake and Scrape shares many features in common with the other B2 series. So you have the synthesizer section here at the top. You have a sample that you can load and layer with the sound, a filter which can process either the synth or the sample or both. You've got common envelope controls, a beat generator. You can click there to trigger the sound, and when you've got a sound you like, you can record it. So this is the synth sound of a tambourine, and this is a sample which I made, and we put both together, and then when you've got something you like, press the arm button, it's recorded, and then you can save it in the normal way. So I'll just give you a quick overview of the synthesizer section at the top. The rattler produces a series of grains, either random or based on a scraping process, which I'll show you later. We have a volume envelope for those grains, or we can switch over to a mod envelope, a modulation envelope, which can modulate the density of the grains, or can actually create a ramp for the scraping sound, which I will show you later. The grains that are created are then fed in parallel to 4 different filters, which are wired in parallel, where you can set the type of filter you want, resonance level, slope, and you can mute and solo the 4 filters so you can remember which one is doing what. The output of the 4 filters can also have the dry grain sound mixed in with it here, and the 5 sources are then fed into a final, quite steep, but 24 dB per octave tracking filter here, where you can tailor the bandwidth precisely of the sound that you produced. And then up here we can set the pitch that the sound responds to, and so you can map it to the keyboard or the actual individual note that you want to use to trigger the sound. Now, shakers and scrapers are quite different instruments. So the shake has one type of random grain generation technique, whereas there are 3 scrape options here, and they have an alternative technique for generating the grains, and also change the function of the modulation envelope there. So for something like a guiro, to create the sound, we press and hold a note on the keyboard and operate either the mod wheel or the pitch bend wheel, like that. Or we can drag the mouse across there, or we can use a modulation envelope here. And there are various slopes and shapes of envelope there, and we can alter the perceived pitch of the scrape using the attack and decay times. Now, this is the part of the demo video where I strongly encourage you to read the user guide, because there's a lot of information here, and it's important that you get to understand how the various parts interact with each other and how you operate the synthesizer. So please read the user guide if you're fascinated by this and you'd like to delve deeper and have a creative play with it. So now I'll run through some of the presets to give you an idea of some of the things that the system and synthesizer are capable of. You heard the capacitor before, but you can also configure the system to use the wheels to make the shaking sound. And because this type of instrument needs sustain, you can set a sustain level here and actually record your performance, in which case, because it's not one shot, you'll need to extend the time. So if you can go up to a maximum of 10 seconds, you can record your performance and then edit it save it and edit it in a wave editing program. If you want to invoke Santa, you've got sleigh bells. If you're feeling particularly ethnic, you've got a rain stick. And if you've got a rain stick, why not have a rainstorm? Now, hand claps are a kind of percussive instrument. A very popular toy is the so-called frog rasp, which is a kind of guiro. And there I was operating the modulation wheel to create the grains for the sound. Now, most of the instrument sounds in here respond to pitch, so you can find the pitch that suits you best. Here are some castanets of different pitches. Here are some single shot maracas. And this sound lends itself well to using the pitch bend modulation wheels for the shaking. And of course, don't forget you can record that brief performance and save it as a WAV file. This is a more metallic type of sound, which is a bit like a washboard. As you might expect, you can create cymbal sounds, but the B2 cymbalic is designed specifically for that, but you can do it with this. And what piece of music wouldn't be complete without a ref's whistle? As I mentioned before, because it's a synthesizer, you can make plenty of non-imitative sounds too. Well, maybe I deserve a round of applause. So there you go, that's the Quilcom B2 Shake and Scrape in a nutshell. And I'll play you out with a preset I called Warp 9. So I hope you get a bit of fun and interest out of this, and until the next time, bye!